Hello guys, so welcome to my video about my diploma course, which is Applied AI Analytics from NYP. So as you can see, it is the most hardest course to enter. By looking at the JE, lower means harder to enter. This course is basically for data scientists, data analysts, those kind of jobs where you take data and make stuff, or to build AI models. So here's how it goes, okay? We have one semester, which is like around 18 weeks. And then these 18 weeks will be divided into two, which is called term 1 and term 2, both around 8 weeks long. And the first term, you will have some modules, and the second term, some modules will be switched in and out, right? And then we have two types of modules. The pictures are not loading, but it's okay. First type is called GSM. It is those not really important, those modules that if you pass, then you can just move on. It's not very relevant to your studies. Then what else we have is core modules. So these are all core modules, is related to your studies. And let's start with year 1 sem 1. I will go through the core modules first, and then I'll proceed with the GSM modules. So firstly, we have business needs analysis. This module is mainly about business concepts when it comes to business plus the IT. So we got the software development process, some business requirement analysis, those kind of things. And then we would oh yeah, by the way, right, all these modules are subject to change, but I'm sure they'll give you a good idea of what you might go through when you come to my module, come to my diploma course. And next we have networking administration, which is about network, your basic IP stuff, your binary, those kind of things, your different layers of networks. Now, right, even though this module is very general, it applies to like general diploma courses, we have it in this specialized AI course because the course manager hopes to give you like a foundational base of knowledge about IT in general, so that you can maybe go and explore other fields if you are not very interested in IT, unfortunately. Next we have programming. So it's just all basic Python programming. Yeah, you got the if else, you got the loops, you got the different objects that you can use to store your data, you got functions, string manipulation, yeah. And in data modeling, we have this Oracle SQL kind of teaching, and they basically introduce you to the concept of databases. Finally, my most favorite sem 1 module, which is UX design. Now I'm sure that the module has changed over the years, but what we did was create a fictional hotel website. So I will assume, right, that, well, because this course is mostly teaching on HTML, CSS and JavaScript, you are supposed to apply UX design principles and create a website using those UX design principles. So I think that will stay the same. And moving on, we have fitness for life. So it's just, okay, so when it comes to GSM, it's mostly gonna be specialized, as in each person will have a different GSM, so I don't think it's really that important to go through. I think it's more important to go through our core modules. So this is year 1 sem 2. We will learn decision analysis, which is just other business math, honestly. It's about analyzing business decisions and trying to follow some frameworks to select the best decision for your business. Next we got data structure and algorithms. Over here we learn about those, as the name implies, data structure and algorithms. We'll learn about algorithms, you'll learn about the different search, you'll learn about different sorts, and most importantly we'll learn about recursion. So actually recursion isn't very, I would say, practical, because you won't really use it, but it's an interesting it's an interesting concept. So it's a function that calls itself, and you can do all sorts of things with it. And in my personal experience, they really went on hard with the recursion concept. So recursion was repeatedly tested in the practical tests and written tests. And not to mention, the later on sorting algorithms are based on recursion as well. So Yeah. Now for data storage and administration, basically you basically learn how to do Oracle SQL statements. So you got the select, order by, all these things, joins, views, yeah, exactly. And they also teach a bit about email writing. In my assignment, right, we were tasked to read an email which was sent by the lecturers or the supervisors and use SQL statement to extract the data from SQL database. So yeah, that's right. If you find that your core modules aren't high enough, you can take additional modules. So this additional module is a math module, and it comes in threes. So the first one, which is this one, analytical geometry, it's basically a preface for calculus, right? So we got the dot product, cross product, parametric equation, polar coordinate, all these things. Then after that, what we have is applied calculus, which unfortunately requires calculus knowledge. So it's a more advanced version of calculus. Forget what it does, because I didn't take it, because I don't know calculus. Then after calculus, you have advanced calculus. I assume it's way more advanced. It's the hardest of three. And in my own experience, right, the additional math modules are way harder than the core modules. So yeah, would I recommend you to take it? Number one, if your GPA is higher than 3.5 and you can cope with it and you know calculus, I think you can go and take it. You know why you should take it? It's because if you want to enter a local university like NUS or NTU, you have to actually know calculus in order to pass the math examination bar. Like there's a math examination for entering one of their courses, most of their courses actually. And so if you take all three of them, then NUS and NTU will know. Then you don't have to take the math test and you can just go straight in. If you don't take the test, then well, I think you won't be able to get in the course. Moving on to data visualization. So we learn about Power BI. Exactly. So this is the introduction to Power BI. Then we learn about cryptography, yeah, AES, all those things. And then during our assignment, right, we actually are given a scrambled code to decrypt. So I mean, that's kind of fun, I guess. Next, we have operating system management. So basically, you run Sandbox to run Windows and Linux servers. And we try to do some operating system stuff, like run the command line terminal, those kind of things. And we have visual analytics project. So in this course or this diploma, right, we actually have these project modules, which is just you work on a project in the entire module, which lasts about 8 weeks. So for this, right, it's working on a project, a Power BI project, and you're supposed to find your own data sets, go and do data analysis on them. Yeah, actually I can link my videos, right? Because yeah, of course. Anyways, so I took a additional module. It's called Cloud Computing Essentials, and I basically took it during the holidays. So it's about AWS and their cloud services. Moving on to year 2 sem 1, we have supervised learning. So we have all the supervised learning algorithms that we have to learn, which is linear regression, logistic regression, support vector machine. So actually, right, I can give you a little introduction about supervised learning. So there are two types of general data. Firstly, it's labeled data. Secondly, it's unlabeled data. So labeled data is like data that is labeled, and usually the label will be the target variable of the model. So firstly, we have data and a label beside the data, maybe like a tabular format in a table. You have a lot of variables and you have a result column, right? You give that data to the supervised learning model, and based on the data, it will try to maybe predict the results of new data. So that's basically a preface to supervised learning. We also have unsupervised learning. So basically, if you are very lazy or maybe you don't have a choice. Yeah, you probably don't have a choice to label your data, or maybe the algorithm doesn't need to. You use unsupervised learning. So unsupervised learning is for unlabeled data. So this data hasn't been labeled, it's just data. So one thing we can do is clustering. So you actually don't need to label your data in order to do clustering, because the clustering algorithm will just group together the data points that are closer to each other, and using that we can form some analysis. For example, maybe you have a ton of customer reviews and then you want to cluster them so that you can see which are the most which topics come up the most often in your maybe negative reviews. Yeah. Data wrangling is about web scraping. Yes, web scraping. We use PassHub, we use Python, we use KNIME. Yeah. We don't use KNIME actually. KNIME can't data scrape, I think. Yeah, it can't data scrape. We just use it to do some like analysis. Yeah. Next we have data journalism. It's basically using Tableau for the lab and also studying theory about visualizations, time series, distribution, correlation, geodata. Yeah. We also have data integration and what? Data integration and clustering. So it's actually nothing about clustering, I think. Yeah. It's actually about AWS cloud services. So previously I've talked about it. I took an additional module about it. So actually this module was quite smooth sailing for me. Yeah, that's it. Alright, my favorite module inside of year 2 sem 1, which is web application development. So at first we get to learn about classes, objects, methods in Python, and all the other things. Then we group up and we learn about Flask. After we learn about Flask, we build a website that is sustainable and also uses shelf. Python shelf. Shelf is basically like a dictionary in Python that is persistent. So persistence means that once you close the program, you can still get it. For example, if you have a dictionary that is persistent, usually in Python, when you run a dictionary and you end the program, the dictionary is just gone. But if it's persistent, right, after you end the program, the data of the dictionary will still be there. So how we can do this is make a file that stores the data, the dictionary data, so that once the program ends, the file will still be there and we can just extract the data from the file and use it. So that is persistence and shelf. We have data privacy and protection. It's just about data privacy, PDBA, just a Singapore version of the European GDPR law. Yeah, a lot of theory, honestly. You don't actually do much, it's mostly theory. Yeah, so you gotta prepare for your theory. And for the project module, the predictive analytics project, it's basically using the same machine learning tool as the supervised learning and unsupervised learning to create a model for data you have to take out in the internet. So there are some like project scope, some guidelines about sustainability again. Yeah, they're really pushing hard on it. Yeah. And now for the current modules that I'm taking, it's big data modeling. So it's about Hadoop, PySpark and Databricks. Yeah, it's going quite well. But this year 2 sem 2 by the way. So we actually learn more about those unstructured data. Okay, maybe I can introduce. So structured data is basically data in tabular format. We got a row, we got a column. But unstructured data is like images, text and voice or speech, audio. And like you might be thinking, how can we like analyze this kind of data? It's just like one piece of text, and video is like one piece of like information. Images is like a lot of pixels. Like how are we supposed to analyze that? So mostly we are targeting text analysis. So there are different strategies which we will learn. Yes. Alright, so that concludes my video. Hopefully you have learned a bit. Maybe you have an idea of how to prepare for my course if you're joining. So actually what I plan to do with the rest of my life is to start a business. And unfortunately my business idea doesn't really align with this course, unfortunately. Because this course is mostly on building models, like custom AI models using data. And I feel like these kind of things, right, it may just be obsoleted in the future. I'm not sure because ChatGPT, right? It's basically a model, a AI model that can be applied for anything. So imagine, right? Especially in text. Imagine you want to do sentiment analysis. What you can do is just make an AI prompt that asks ChatGPT to classify whether it's good or bad. Like it's not that deep. Forecasting, I don't know, but yeah, my business idea isn't really gonna use custom AI models because for now, custom AI models are very hard to build, especially when you are by your own business. Custom AI models is usually for the enterprise kind of side of things, like when you have a lot of data, because you need a lot of data to build good models. But if you want to utilize AI in your own company, you have to use existing tools like ChatGPT. But one good thing, right, is I found a mentor from my course. So actually, right, she knows a bit about chatbots, so that's actually pretty good. Alright, so anyways, I've been droning about my own stuff. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you have learned something about my course. Maybe you can apply to my course. Yeah, see ya guys.